What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new e-bike. This is the HappyRun G100. This is a full suspension e-bike which also has dual batteries as well. As you can see, definitely a very unique looking bike that actually looks a lot more like a mini motorcycle than it does a bicycle. So the one I have right here is in black and yellow. Definitely a very cool look. It kind of has like a Bumblebee Transformers look going for it, which is why I stuck that little Transformers logo there. But besides this color, this bike also comes in a blue American flag theme as well. So taking a look at the specs, this bike has a 1000 watt motor, which has a peak of 2000 watts and 95 newton meters of torque. So if this performs as advertised, this should definitely be a quick and torquey motor. Coming to the other side, we have hydraulic brakes, and as you can see, the brand is DY Island. I have these on a few other bikes, and as long as they're set up correctly, they're usually great performing brakes. Looking at the tires, we have 20 by 4 inch Chow Yang fat tires. As you can see, they do come with gum walls as well, which definitely complements the look of this e-bike. As I said earlier, this is a dual battery e-bike. So right up here on top, really cool looking battery, looks like a motorcycle gas tank. This is a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery, and tucked right down here at the bottom, this is a 48 volt 18 amp hour battery. So I have a few other large battery e-bikes, and I think I prefer 2 batteries versus 1 large battery. It just gives you a little more flexibility. So if you're going for a really long ride and you want the extra juice, you could take both batteries. But if you're not going for that long of a ride, you could just take one of the batteries and leave the other one at home. This way the e-bike's a little bit lighter. Looking at the suspension, we have a front fork suspension in the front, and then in back we also have a dual shock rear suspension as well. It does look like a good suspension, so interested in trying that out shortly, and I'll let you guys know how it all performs. So one of my favorite things about this e-bike so far has to be the lighting system. When it comes to the front headlight, this is hands down the brightest headlight I have seen on any e-bike I've tested so far. Usually front headlights on e-bikes are pretty garbage. They light up good on the straightaway, but when it comes to spreading out the light, they're very bad at that. So it doesn't make the light very useful, and 90% of the time, you're better off just buying one that goes in the bars. But this one is extremely bright. I have a motorcycle, and I gotta say, this is just as bright as that one. So you see we have 2 LEDs here in the center, but then you also have these 2 at the side. And as you can see, they have a little round reflector on it, and that's what's responsible for spreading out the light a lot more, so it actually lights up the road and not just in front of you. And then around the light, you also have an LED DRL. So if you turn off the light, that stays on and gives you a nice accent. And then you turn it on and you get all that output. As you can see here, it's very sunny out right now, but even so, you can still see the light output there in my hand. And then I took a clip of my garage as well when I was testing it out, just so you can see how bright it actually is. Right next to the headlight, we have 2 turn signals, which are also very bright as well. They are sequential, so the light starts over here, then it spreads out, giving you that indicator. On camera, it's kind of blinking, but in person, it is a steady light that just flashes out. That's just how it looks on the camera. As you can hear, it is beeping, so this way, if you're driving around, you'll hear that beeping, and you won't accidentally have your signal on the entire time. And then on back of the bike, you also have a matching set of turn signals. And then in the middle, you have your tail light, which lights up when you brake as well. I almost forgot to mention, here on back, you also have a very unique fender as well. It only mounts from one side, so over here, it just looks like it's floating. And then on this side, this is where it mounts and has this swing arm that holds on to the bike. Looking at the bars, right here, we have a half twist throttle. Down here, this is your power on and off button, as well as the button to change the speed on the bike. You have a 7-speed Shimano shifter. Coming to the other side, you have your light on and off button. You have your turn signal buttons. And then here at the bottom, you have your horn. Looking at the screen, this is definitely a very unique screen as well. Usually all e-bike screens look pretty similar, but this looks honestly like a real actual motorcycle screen. So right here, you have your speed, and this actually lights up while you're riding. Right here, you have a speed readout. Then over here, you have your odometer, the logo. And then right here, you have your battery readout. I would have preferred to see it actually show the voltage, but instead you just have this light system here. And besides the lights here on the handle, it also shows you on your screen when your turn signals are activated as well. So this bike actually has a unique starting procedure as well. So to turn it on, you hold down this button here, and that'll turn on the screen. But as you can see, we don't have anything on the screen. We can't do anything, and it shows this little lock icon. And in order to unlock the bike, this bike comes with 2 of these, and this is an NFC card. You just tap this on the screen, and that'll unlock it and let you use the bike. So a cool little security feature that should stop anyone from turning on your bike and riding off with it. Last but not least, this bike has a water resistance rating of IP54, weighs 107 pounds, and has a max payload of 400 pounds. All right, so I was putting air in the tires right now, and I noticed that on the side of the tire it says moped on it, which is a little unusual for a e-bike tire. And I looked it up. It's a Chow Yang Hippo Skin Plus, I think it was called. Apparently it's a lot thicker tire compared to a regular e-bike tire, so I forgot to put up my kickstand. Always happens. But yeah, it's a nice little bonus that I didn't see initially. You should get a lot less flats that way. Of all the e-bikes I have tested so far, this one feels most like an actual motorcycle. Just the seating position, the height of it, the way your feet are positioned. I just feel like right now I'm cruising around in an actual non-e-bike regular motorcycle. It just has that feel to it. I know it looked like a motorcycle, but I didn't think I was gonna ride like one too. So definitely very unique. I keep riding by a bunch of cops and I just think they're gonna stop me thinking of riding around a motorcycle, but so far they haven't said anything, so I think I'm okay. Especially on back of this, it has like a license plate bracket, so off first look, someone might think it was an unregistered motorcycle. All right, so I'm not even gonna try out pedal assist because it's just, like I said, not very good to pedal. But speed 1, it looks like I get 5 miles per hour. Speed 2, it lets off at 13. Speed 3, it lets off at 19. Suspension feels good. It again feels almost like an actual motorcycle. The way these bumps just kind of soften out. I feel like I'm riding my motorcycle again. I'm riding over some heavy cracks and bumps here and I really don't feel them at all. The suspension does feel like it's on the softer medium side, so if you off-road this, I'm not sure it'll do very well, but for regular street riding, this is just perfect. Let me go ahead and try this on the sidewalk. We're probably gonna think I'm crazy riding an actual motorcycle on the sidewalk, because again, it's probably what it looks like. Nothing. Oh man, I feel these bumps so very little. This is definitely a great suspension. I love this suspension. All right, speed 4, or pedal assist 4. Go ahead and try this out. Looks like it stops at 22 miles per hour. Oh, went up to 24, so 24 miles per hour on speed 4. All right, speed 5, see what we can get. Already catching up to this car in front of me. Already at 30, 31, 32, 32 miles per hour. Ran out of space. Literally right behind this actual car. All right, one more time. All right, so it doesn't look like I can get past 32 miles per hour. Maybe if you're a little lighter, maybe if all conditions were perfect. It's a little bit windy today. I do feel a lot of wind. So I think if you're a little lighter in those perfect conditions, you could probably get it up to 34, 35, but realistically, I don't see it going past that. But for the price, definitely not bad at all. In this price range, not many e-bikes can go past that 29 or 30 mile per hour mark. So not as quick as I thought it was gonna be, but still a good and impressive speed. And if you haven't gone on an e-bike going past 30 miles per hour, it definitely feels a lot faster. So one thing worth noting is while it only got me 32 miles per hour, if I'm off the bike, as you can see, the throttle does let you go all the way up to 37. So that's where it's capped at. So theoretically, if you're lighter and all conditions are perfect, you might be able to get 37 or close to that. Yeah, this is definitely a whole lot closer to a moped than it is an e-bike. So if you're looking for an e-bike experience where you can pedal sometimes and use throttle the other times, this is not it. But if you're looking something like a moped but don't want to spend as much as a moped costs and you don't want to deal with registration or anything like that or insurance, this is definitely a great alternative. Again, just went over that sewer lid and you barely feel it at all. If you see how much, or I should say how little this bike actually costs, this is very impressive. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the best bang for your buck e-bikes, well, mini motorcycles, I guess more like, in this price range. The fact that it comes with dual batteries, not something you see often around this price. So yeah, overall, if you happen to be looking for an e-bike around this price range that is closer to a motorcycle that has a whole bunch of range, this one here is definitely a great option to look at. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.